moment we see each other, that day that I was gingering, that I was telling my mom, when he comes, this, the moment I saw him, you see all those anger, just... Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria, Ayodele Fash. If you're new on my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. I talk about faith, marriage, relationship, personal growth, career growth, and everything that will help you to live a successful life. Okay, so please do make sure you subscribe to this channel. You like this video, you leave a comment below, and yeah, thank you. And to all my returning subscribers, is have a hobby for yourself. Have something doing. Okay, when you are in a long distance relationship. And the reason I'm saying is that long distance relationship requires a lot of giving from the other person, okay, and especially when it comes to time. But there are times that the person will not really have the time. Let me take for instance now, when I came back from the US, I did not have a job. In short, let me even start from when I went to the US before we even go deep into it. Let me just give this scenario to help you to understand better. When I just got to the United States, I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. I did not have any single person. And the people around me were all foreigners. They speak differently. They act differently. They eat differently. I didn't know them. And at a point, I almost went into depression. I actually went, don't let me sugarcoat it. I went into depression because I was isolated. The only person that I could share my thoughts with, share my pains with was him. And I know he never complained, not for once. Anytime I call him, sometimes I remember there are nights that I'll call him around 3 a.m. in the morning and I'll be crying, and he's already asleep. So he will wake up just to try to encourage me and all of those things. And I knew that it took a lot from him to be there for me at that particular time. So what I'm trying to say is that eventually I got to know more fellows, I got to see more people, and then I didn't bother him a lot anymore. But for those period, yeah, right?
In fact, I started to ignore.
I didn't ignore you, Joe. But it was not a burden to him anymore, okay? And I remember when I came back again, I didn't have a job. I was literally just staying in Nigeria trying to plan our wedding. But he still had a job that he was doing. He still had to go to work 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever his job's demand. And then I am here alone, not doing anything. And I expect him to call me every single time. And whenever he didn't call me, we were always fighting. Like, oh, you didn't care about me. You went all your day. And it's like, but I'm working. So you need to make sure that you have something. You have friends around that you can, engage with. Don't let it be only your partner, because it's going to cause a strain. If the person is not a committed person or someone who has a lot of endurance and patience, it might actually affect your relationship. So have people around, have friends around that you can hang around with that will take your mind off. And also because, there are times that you are humans. I can talk for women. You get to certain times of the month that your body craves for a person, or there are just times that you crave for affection, you crave for stuff. If you don't have people that can help you to put steam off, that you can joke with, that you can hang around with, you will find yourself start thinking of things you're not supposed to think of. You find yourself start getting attracted to people you're not supposed to get attracted to, because you don't have ways to blow off steams, okay? So try as much as possible to get yourself engaged, when you are alone. Go out, hang out with friends, and all of that, and still keep communicating. And the moment you feel like, oh, you need to get close, call him. If he's free, talk to him, tell him how you feel. And I know I do that all the time. Like, I call him, this is how I'm feeling, and we talk about it. We make ourselves laugh and everything. And then I go out, I hang around. It really, really helped to take the load of having all the emotional burdens on him. So, yeah, that is very, very important. Get something doing. Get a job, get a career, get an interest. Hang out and, yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
I think I agree with our needs sometimes. Our needs are just funny. Sometimes you just want someone there. You don't even need to talk or spend time together. You just need to know that there's someone there, and that's what works. But you have to also understand who you're with and all the surrounding circumstances. So there are moments when I know she's extra testy, or extra. I just know that at that point in time, she needs some measure of calm. So when she's bringing it out, I'm trying to be calm because it's necessary. But so you need, as a person, I very hardly get bored. I have many things that helps me. Books more often than not, or football or something like that. So but she knows that at any point in time, if my attention is required, I have to submit it, even if it's not comfortable or convenient, because I'll know that she also knows that this is how I do, or this is what I do. So if she, in spite of that, needs to request, that means that the matter don't pass Gary. So that's important. But don't overburden your partner. Don't put all your emotional burdens on the person, because like everything living, there is a breaking point. So if you overburden something, the person will feel overburdened. So try and balance it as much as you can.
That does not also mean that you bottle down your feelings. Like I said, look for ways to blow off steam. For instance, he was talking about, when emotions are high, when I'm extra thirsty, whatever. Actually, there will be times as people were annoying me, especially when I was in the US, and I don't have anybody to talk to as at then, I will always call him and I'll be vexing and ranting, and any little thing he says that is off point, oh God, I will come for him. That's because I did not have any other thing to blow off steam. When I started living with Rebecca, even he knew that I'm resting, because when I get home, we talk about stuff, we let steam, and when I'm talking to him, I've already blow up the steam. I'm just giving him the information. Okay, so always have your own things that keeps you busy, things or ways you can blow off steam, so that you don't end up pushing your partner away.
I think another thing is talking about your future together.
Very important.
I think it's a bit about communication, but it's more specific. That's why I didn't add it in the first point. What do I mean by that? It's important that you identify what role you'd be, or what role you'll be playing in each other's life or world years ahead. For instance, when we first started dating, there was something she did. There was something my wife did. She asked me to give her a picture of my life in 5 years' time. It was very hard. Why? I have the broad strokes. I have an idea what I want to be, what I'd like to be, but I had not zeroed in on specifics. So initially it didn't sit well with me. Like, it felt like she was questioning my drive, my ambition, and all that. But with time, I realized that it was necessary. That in 5, there has to be a dream that you're working towards. I mean, even if I say I want to be the governor of a state in the next 10 years, there has to be steps that would make it happen. So it's not enough that I am dreaming or I want to be. I have to have specifics that would drive me there. So both parties have to sell the idea. So
sorry babe, but it means that my opposite kind of thinking helped you to see clearer, right?
Yes. Why I didn't call it, or why I may not refer to it as opposite, is the sense that both of us are motivated and ambitious. So that's not a problem. The only problem was zeroing in. I deal with specifics. Yes, I'm not that. I like broad stroke. The whole essence is discuss your future. What kind of future do you want for yourselves, in your family? Do you want a nuclear family? Kind of thing. Do you want isolated from extended family? Do you want your families involved with your life? What kind of home do you want? Would you be taking helps? What kind of helps would you take? How many kids are you intending to have? I think you may not be able to determine gender and all that. So, but
at least agree on a gender. At least me and my husband, we still have this argument now. He's the kind of person that anyone that comes, they come. But me, I have a gender that I want first. At least this first child, it should be this gender. But to him, anyone that happens to happen.
So you may have to agree on that. If there are career development goals like professional courses, master's program, and all of those things, fellowship and internship, talk about them so that both of you will have it at the back of your mind that these are the sacrifices that will be required of me. For instance, I made a promise to my wife before we got married that anything about your advancement, if you will not achieve anything, it won't be me holding you back. You can count on that. If it requires me letting go of one thing or two things, I'll do it. That's the kind of person I want to be. I don't want to ever have missed opportunities because I am not cooperative. I don't think it makes any sense, because at the end of the day, whatever opportunity she has is for both of us. So discuss some of those things like that, and you have to be ready, because trust me, when the sacrifice comes, it's not going to be simple.
So true.
So you have to be ready for that, okay, I'm sacrificing this, or I'm willing to sacrifice this. So both of you will know. Sometimes you may not even agree on those things from the outset, but at least prepare each other's mind. Along the line, you may see a reason. There are things that she has told me that I never accepted, but after a while I realized that it was for the best, and vice versa. It works that way. So sell the idea of the future that you want and work towards it. It helps both of you. Yeah,
I absolutely love that. I mean, for us, the future plans, discussing your future goals is something that you should definitely, discuss. Like he said, me traveling out, I told you guys already that me traveling out actually affected our wedding plans. But when it came to that point, and at a point I was scared, I didn't know if I should go for it. Basically, I'm funny enough, I wasn't so much scared for him or about him or what his reaction would be as I was about his family members, because it's something that they have been looking forward to. But my husband always tells me something, that if the two of us agree on something, every other party is secondary. So I remember when I told him, he told me that, like, this is what you want, right? This is what you want to pursue. Go ahead and pursue it. When it comes to time, the moment we agree, we'll be able to talk to them, because it's what we want that, every other person. So knowing that, okay, like I said, the sacrifice is always not easy, but when you've discussed your future, you know that this is the kind of person this person is. Tomorrow she can come up and say she wants to go for a master's and all of those things, but we've already had a discussion that this is the trait. Of course, there'll be times that life will throw things at you that you don't expect. Like, for instance, you want to pursue your master's, babies come and stuff like that. Those are things that you might not be able to control. But the ones that you guys can be able to control, the ones that, but that should not, sorry, what I'm trying to say, that should not stop you from discussing the things or the goals, regardless of whatever things that might happen, but just have an idea that this is the kind of future I see myself, this is where I see myself, so that I'm not having a dream of being a foreign expatriate, or what do they call it, and my husband is having a dream of being the president of Nigeria. So how does it relate? It means that my dream is not in Nigeria, but his dream is here in Nigeria. So how does it come into play? So you need to know all of those things. It will help you to know if this is the person that I actually want to spend the rest of my life with, and then it will help you to have a roadmap for your life. Okay, so yeah. So for me,
is be honest about your challenges, the struggles. Be honest about it. Now, I know this is difficult for men, being vulnerable, especially in this part of the world. We are not programmed on, we are not taught or raised to be quite vulnerable. So I can be in pain and my partner doesn't know. I can have issues in my head for days and she's unaware. And when I say them, like for instance, there was a day I told her that I've been sad for a while, and she was like, "How can I be sad and not tell her?" The problem is because of, I don't know, I can't say it's because of a lot of factors. It's not very easy for me to be vulnerable to anyone, not even my wife, anyone. So it takes a level of trust. Like I have to trust you to a point where I can be vulnerable. But I also realized, at least later in the course of our dating, that I'm not helping myself if she doesn't know what my weaknesses are or what my shortcomings are. And incidentally, there are some that she's the one that discovered. It wasn't me. I was oblivious that I had a problem with that.
I can remember an example.
Like I've told my wife before we got married that there are certain categories of ladies, if you see around me, you don't bother yourself. It can never be a challenge. But you have to be able to explain yourself, your thought process, your thought pattern, what you're weak at. So for you to understand, for your partner to understand how to help you and how to balance you. How to profess solutions to those problems. So there are problems I never knew I had. She was the one that helped me find them out. And I at first it was difficult for me to tell her that this is the problem, or this is what I'm going through, or this is what I think about. But now I can tell my wife that about certain stuff that I would not even think about before. It's not possible. No. But now I can tell her, I can display vulnerability. I can tell her what worries me about a thing or a person. But before it was difficult.
That's true. It wasn't even just about the person. My husband sometimes then it would just take some decisions that I believe if we are together, we need to, it's something you should have consulted me on before you took that decision.
Yeah, that too.
But in his mind, he felt like, I thought I told you, or he didn't see the reason why he should tell me, because he didn't see that it's going to be a bad thing. Sometimes it won't be a bad thing, but you should have discussed those things with me, because I think for women it's easier, because we're emotional beings. We like to discuss everything. Like, if something's happening to me right now, the first thing I'm thinking in my head is the way I'm going to craft the story to my husband when we get home and stuff like that. But to them, it's not the same thing. There was something that happened yesterday, I cannot even recall. And he said, oh, this happened. I'm like, so why did you tell me about it? Like, I didn't tell you about it. Like, it does not occur to him to do those things. So being open and vulnerable also has to do with, sometimes finances. When you are having a financial issue, when you are emotionally down. I told you when I was depressed, he was the one I was always going to. But the period in his life, or that short period that he was in that period, he didn't tell me until later. And I'm like, and I feel really hurt that if you can't tell me about this, like, what are we doing? And I got to realize that that's just the kind of person he is. And with time, it was something that we now eventually so just be open, be vulnerable. The moment you feel like you're threatened, the moment you feel like something is off between the two of you, open it. Tell him, you've not been calling me for days. What's happening? I've not heard from you. Or, there was something you did that ticks me off. Marriage has taught me that, marriage relationship have taught me that there are a lot of things that men will never know. It can be staring them right in the face like this, and for women, we don't like to talk about those things, because we believe that you should be able to know that this thing takes me off. You should be able to know this. We were still having this conversation today as we're coming from church. Some expectations and all of those things, but they will not know unless you communicate those things to them. But that will be probably a video for another time. But yes, be open, be sincere. If there's something you like, tell him. There was a time that I realized that, hey, we don't hang out as much. We don't go out. You don't take me on dates and stuff like that. And I tell him, it bothers me. And, we started making adjustments, to those things. So yeah, anytime, anything that affects you, let him know, okay? And you as the spouse should also be able to make those adjustments as required. So I guess that's it. But any final, notice, thoughts?
Okay, I just want to say that when you find the right person, do not allow distance to be a factor, because sometimes it's more than you can see. In our situation, in our case, our relationship started in a very strange or funny way, but to a believer, I prayed before I got into the relationship. I got the conviction I needed. So I think at that point I was ready for whatever comes, even though I didn't know what was going to come.
Yeah.
So along the line, there was a time when the issue about traveling out came up, and she was worried about delaying our marriage, wedding plans, and all that. I said I remember I told her that we've spent the bulk of this relationship apart. It could have been training for this moment.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't even know if that's the truth. I don't even know if it is for the future. But it helped us deal with whatever situation was going to come. So the point I was trying to make is this: when you find the person you want to be with, do not let difficulty stand in your way. I know that there are some difficulty that appears or look insurmountable, especially maybe intertribal marriage, inter-religious marriage, and all that. I know that it presents its own unique set of difficulties, but difficulties, hindrances will come. Now, if you just have to look at the big picture. So me, I knew I wanted to marry her. I knew I had to marry her. I've told her before that she was made for me. No two things about that. Now, so whenever anything raises its head that stands as difficulty, issues, or whatever, my mindset is we're going to work it out. So difficulties will come. It will be hard on both of you. It will require a lot of patience, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of endurance. I think the same thing as patience. It's going to require a lot that I cannot even tell you now. But as long as you know that this person is the person for you, like I just told myself, I knew that if I lost the opportunity, I'm never going to find someone else like her. I don't know. I might find someone else, but not like her. And she's the one I want. So I was ready to weather the storm. So you will have to get ready psychologically, emotionally for what will come. You may not be able to anticipate them. You may be able to anticipate them, but just get ready. But do not let it hold you back from who you're going to be with, because if you look at it, how we started, how we met each other, by all human definition, we should not survive.
Yeah.
But we not only
True.
survived, we thrived.
Yeah.
We met on social media, we dated for years apart.
Long distance.
You know,
Yeah.
by all measures, you'd say that it's not going to last. But here we are waxing stronger.
Yeah.
So that's what I have.
Yes. If I'm to also conclude, thank you for all those nice sweet things. Anyway, if I'm also going to wrap everything up, I think it's everything that we said still boils down to your commitment. Communication, it means you're committed. Trust means you're committed. What else did you talk about? Every other thing has to do with the bedrock of everything is that I'm committed to this person. I'm committed to making this thing work. If not, the time I was around in the US, do you think that men did not approach me? Do you think people did not come to me to say, I want to marry you? A number of them did. And I'm sure it was the same for him. Like, we will make jokes every day. You ask me how many people called you today, and I'll ask you how many people like approached you, even though they are jokes, but there will always be someone better. There will always be someone that has something better than your husband. There are people that had green card and were, let's get married and, get stuff done. But I knew that I have a commitment with this person, and this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. When you know and you are committed to it, no matter the things that come your way, you try to resolve them, and it will not be an hindrance. So, commitment is very key. Commitment is very, very key. Commitment, when there is an issue, even issues like cheating or whatever, if you are committed to this relationship, you are committed to change, you are committed to, this person is really committed. Even if mistakes happen, commitment to each other can make you weather those things. A lot of challenges will come, a lot of issues are going to arise. I'm not going to lie to you. Long distance is not easy. There are times it is not easy. That's the long and short. But it takes your commitment to each other to make it work. And also it takes prayer. It talked about prayer. I did not go into this relationship without prayer. I know I promised to tell a story about how I told my mom about him, but that's going to happen soon. I promise. I know people have been asking. But I prayed by myself. I got a conviction. I had people in my church also, like a couple that I really love. So whether you are in a long distance or short distance relationship, commitment is key. Okay, even after your relationship, even after you get married, commitment is what is going to help you to sustain, like to preserve your marriage. Like, I'm committed to this person. When the person does things that annoys me, where am I running to? We are like I said, I painted a picture of how I see my marriage. So I cannot live in the middle of the ocean and say I'm leaving. Where am I going to go if I'm going to drown also? So I'm committed to this. We are both committed to making it work. Okay, and also using that boat analogy, if we are to move forward, if we are to get to somewhere, it means that we both need to be pedaling together. Okay, so it cannot be pedaling this direction and pedaling that direction. We are not going to go anywhere. So you need to also ensure paddling. Is it pedaling? I said. Yeah, paddling. Yeah. So you need to make sure that you guys are committed to each other. When you're committed to each other, there's nothing that you guys cannot. There's no storm you cannot weather. There is nothing that can come your way that is going to shake the foundation of a relationship if you are really, really committed to each other. I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, you know what to do. What should they do?
Please drop your comments, like this video, and please subscribe to the channel. Please
subscribe to my channel, okay? And yes, share this video if you think there's someone that really needs to hear this. Please make sure you share the video, and we'll be seeing you guys maybe the next 1 month or 1 year.
See you when I see you.
We'll be seeing you guys, but I will be seeing you guys in my next video. So until then, do have a lovely, lovely week. Bye.
Bye.